welcome back. It's been a while since I've done any of these because I've been in the process of moving house and various other bits and pieces. So, welcome to my new gym. It's just in my garage. So, today's plan. So I put this all together the last couple of days, and I've been going and training at like a commercial gym in the meantime. So this will actually be the first time I lift in here. So not sure how that's going to go yet. There's a decent amount of space, but like I said, I've not lifted in here yet, so I don't know what it's going to be like. Now I know the lighting is rubbish, and I'm going to get some different lights anyway. I was going to just leave the door open, so the door's behind you, but there's a storm outside at the minute, so if I do that, then I'll just get soaked. Now this floor is ever so slightly sloped from about here. It slopes downwards slightly, but there isn't really anywhere else good to put the rack because of this beam here. I didn't want to hit it with that as I was putting it up. But anyway, so first session in the new gym. I still have my gym. That still exists, but it's going to be like a 40-minute drive to get there, whereas this is like a 3-second walk to get here from in my house. So that's much easier. Now, the plan for today is to squat. So my squats have actually been all right the last couple of weeks. I did 235 for a couple of singles the other day, but that was in the commercial gym, like I say. And I've said before, I don't think the weights in commercial gyms are right anyway, so I don't know if it was that heavy. So today's program is 237.5 for some singles, but it's using my weights, so this should be right. A random cable inside my shoe, so that should be okay. See how we go with that. Now, in terms of other stuff, so nutrition wise, the last couple of weeks I've basically just been eating enough to keep functioning. I think the last video that I put up was probably the one with like the physique update. So I got down to 89 point something, and now I'm hovering at about 90. I've been eating a little bit more, but nothing crazy. Just kind of getting like back into a routine of sorts. So now I can actually train. I've been training, but it's been very much like going through the motions, and just getting stuff done. What do you think? Is that the right height? Or do I go one higher? So yeah, it's been very much like going through the motions. Still been getting it done, but it's not the same. Like training with full intensity versus training just to tick the box. It's two different things. And it very much has just been that tick the box, make sure stuff's getting done, rather than like trying to kill myself in the gym. I don't even know if this is filming. I should probably check. So do the squats today. Haven't got a means of getting music in here yet, and the Wi-Fi in the house isn't very, the signal's not very far. I'm going to get an extender so I can have Wi-Fi in here, so I can listen to something whilst I'm training, and that'll be it. So the thing that I haven't done is I haven't decided where I'm going to put these weight holders and stuff, because the bench fits, so I can bench inside here, but I don't want the weight to hit the weight holders. I need to set the safeties up as well. So I've got two different types of safeties. I've got the thick heavy ones, I've got the thin small ones. Probably use the thick heavy ones to start and see how that goes. It was really good timing actually, because the days that we were moving, I was looking at what kind of squat rack to buy and this and that and the other. And this is actually the one I decided to buy. So I was going to buy this from Strength Shop. So it's a Strength Shop Riot rig, I think it's called. I was going to buy that anyway, and then someone was selling one about 20 minutes from where I've moved to, for less than it would be new, but it also had the like pull down and all the attachments, and there's some jammer arms and dip attachments and everything else. I thought, may as well get everything. So now the only things I can't do here is like the dumbbell stuff. I don't have any dumbbells here, but depending on the exercise, I could do like some dumbbell exercises here because I could just use plates. And then the other thing is there's the jammer arms, which effectively make it like a machine chest press. Is that right? That should be all right, shouldn't it? That'll effectively make it like a machine chest press. So I can use them, can use the cable machine, and then I have got the membership at the commercial gym. Now the commercial gym is packed all the time. It's like a 10-minute drive, so it's not too bad to get to, but it's not really realistic to film in there, or even just training is not ideal in there. So that's in 20, that's in 20. Yeah, so training in there, can't really squat, bench and deadlift in there. The squat rack, there's a machine like right there. So if someone's using that machine, you can't really squat. And most of the demographic in there, I think, are newer to the gym. And so maybe don't have any self-awareness of what they're doing. And so they're not paying attention of what they're doing. And so that then means that they will just try and walk down the side of the rack whilst you're in the middle of squats to get to this machine. And I guess if you don't know any better, why wouldn't you do that? But why would they know better? So it's not practical for that. And then you're not allowed chalk there, which is only a small thing, but it is still a thing. And so it means that as soon as you start getting a bit sweaty, the bars just become so slippery. And then when you bench it doesn't feel particularly safe. And then, this is just a rant, isn't it? And then the next thing is the bench pad is so soft that when you bench on it, you kind of sink into it, and then the whole bench just wobbles as you use it. So it just doesn't feel stable or safe at all. And obviously, don't end up getting injured. And then it's all the plates that the majority of the plates that they've got. So I want to go one higher. The majority of plates that they've got are those like thin rubber ones, which you can't deadlift with. They've only got one set of bumper plates. So that's a lie. You can deadlift with them, but you can't have them as the first plate when you're deadlifting. And there's only one set of bumper plates, and they're knackered. And because the gym's so busy, people will use them for other stuff, so you can't use them to deadlift. But on the plus side, there are loads of machines. There's loads of machines, there's loads of dumbbells, so it's really good for that sort of thing. Their hamstring curl machine they've got there is brilliant. So there are some benefits to that place instead. Alright, that feels alright. Actually getting warm now. So yeah, things are looking like they're going to be a bit less chaotic now, which would be nice. Get some lights sorted in here. I could tidy this up a bit more obviously, but I didn't want to put off training more and more and more. So I've not actually missed any sessions, I just obviously haven't filmed any, and I didn't want to just keep putting off training and stuff. keep putting off filming and stuff. So I thought, whilst this is a mess, I'm going to train, so I'll film it anyway. Today is Christmas Eve, actually. So we've got some plans later on today. But for now, I'll get this training done. So this is the beautiful thing of having the home gym set up now, is I've done a bunch of program updates, and then I can come in here and train, and there's no travel time. And like even just simple stuff like setting things up, getting equipment out and stuff. Obviously I've just had to now, this is the very first time, but I won't have to do that in the future. Now the thing I'm not sure of is, so I've got a stack of 20s down here. On this rack, there's these holders for plates. I don't know if I want to put it down there or really high up here, because I can bench from that side of the rack. So my feet are out that way. So I think I'll wait until I get onto benching and then see. I'll maybe watch the video back of this and see how close these plates are to over here. So obviously don't want to crash into them. And these don't point backwards, which is a shame. I suppose I could store some on the black pull down, couldn't I? Anyway, should do another section. I might have to break this session up into two, just because of the time. Because of the time difference. No, because of the time constraints I've got. But that's another good thing of, I could do a double session without it being a big problem, because it's not a big trip to the gym and everything like that. And even though it's cold outside, it's actually like, I wouldn't say it's warm in here, but it's warmer than my gym. I was back in the gym this week a couple of times. But yeah, this would be good for training here. Right. Oh. So that was fine. I'm just going to check this, see if this is filming all right. This seems to be working okay, so that's not a bad thing at all. I figure these are probably better than the thinner safeties. My legs feel surprisingly decent. My elbows now, for anyone that's wondering, they feel fine again. I think it was just the thing of all the moving and whatnot that just made them uncomfortable, and potentially the deficit as well. Now I'd say I'm a bit undecided on the fat loss and maintenance and everything, because it hasn't really been tough to lose the fat, the weight, but at the same time, that's not always a good proxy, and I don't want to be starving myself as I'm going into the harder training, but equally, don't want to just get unnecessarily fat for no reason. So, like I say, I'm about 90 kilos now. Competition will be about 7 or 8 weeks now. So there must be this must be the last week of this block, and then go on to another peaking phase. Probably just rerun more or less the same thing as I did last time. But this time just have the view of getting there, making slightly different attempt selections, make sure my hamstrings are more resilient, my pecs are more resilient. That's it really. Maybe chip a little squat PB, 275, bench if I get that 167 that I missed, and then deadlift, we'll see. So 140. was alright. Next up will be 180. The only like slight tiny little thing here that I might have to be careful of is just training. If I ever train late on, just for the noise. Now, we're detached, so it shouldn't be a problem. But with us only just moving in, I don't want to cause an issue with the neighbours and stuff. I don't think it'll be a big problem. Like, I don't think you would notice the sound of any of this during the day, but on a night you might. I've not actually got a weighted deadlift yet. I don't have any decent flooring. I've ordered some, and then I've got some at the gym that I can probably bring here and use, so that should be okay. But like I say, I don't actually have it yet anyway. I haven't done any heavy deadlifts since the competition because of my hamstring. I think I mentioned about that before. It's just like a bit of a niggle. I think I pulled it slightly. So that's the other thing as well. I realise I'm just on a bit of a loop. I've not really spent a lot of time thinking about my own training and stuff the last few weeks, and this is the first time I have. So you're just getting all the thoughts just as they're coming to me. So given the hamstring and everything else like that, I'm thinking this might be the end of the like mini cut. Like I don't know if you'll even be able to see. Like I'm lean for me, not that lean, but like I can see my abs in very, very good lighting. Like the lighting has to be pristine. So I think this might be the end of the fat loss. And I've got 6 or 7 weeks. So if I gain no more than like a kilo a week, call it six weeks. So a kilo a week for 6 weeks, 6 kilos. If I'm 90 now, that means I'll be 96. So then I'm supposed to be competing at 93, but I'm not like dead set on being 93. It's just that's the closest weight class. I might, if training's heading in the right direction, just weigh in what I weigh in. And if I end up at 94, 95, or even 96, that's fine. But just eyes on that 700 total instead, rather than worrying about making weight or anything. Because it's not like I'd be competitive. Now, with that said, as I start training more and be more active, because I haven't actually been very active recently, so I was doing 45 minutes to an hour of cardio every day, and I was doing between 10,000 and 15,000 steps every day. I've not been tracking, just because it's not been a priority. The priority is basically just get everything sorted. So then when I start doing more activity, my weight might fall a little again, so that would be fine. Or I might go up. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea at the minute. Like I say, this is the first time I've actually sort of started to think about it. So we moved into the house just over a week ago. When we moved in, there was no gas, which meant we had a very cold first weekend here. So we were using electric heaters just to try and keep warm. But then the next problem, if you like, is we didn't realise before we moved in that it's a prepayment meter. So this is the old person problems. So what that means is you have to pay for your gas and electric before you use them, and that's fine. It's a really expensive way of paying for it, but it's fine. But we had no means of topping up the gas or electricity because we just moved in, and it takes 48 hours to get any of that information, to get registered to be able to do that. So we didn't have that until the Monday was when I could actually apply for everything. So then we didn't get that until the Wednesday. Anyway, on the Tuesday, I think, the electricity run out because there was no electric left on the emergency supply and no way of getting in touch with the suppliers because the account wasn't active because it needed 48 hours. And then, so I spent a good, must have been about 4 hours on with, it was Scottish Power, I think is who it was with, to try and get that sorted. And then, to make things better, in the midst of all of that, one morning I got up, I don't know, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and heard the sound of like a waterfall almost. Went in the bathroom, and the entire bathroom ceiling, there was water coming in through the light switch and through the extractor fan. So that room was flooded. There was about an inch of water in the room. To make things even better for that, that's the room that we had the cat in. So we'd put the cat in that room overnight just because we had other stuff out that we hadn't put away yet. So like first few nights, we keep the cat in that room. So that's where all of like hair stuff is, because she's blind as well, so that she doesn't get lost in the house. So that was that. That was all flooded. Go through to the living room. Same thing, coming through the light shade. Our stuff all soaked, the carpet all soaked. So like the water's gone all into the underlay and everything else. So that's all flooded as well. So that was another fun thing to deal with. So we had all of that happening as well. And then the Wi-Fi that was supposed to arrive like the day we moved in, that was then delayed as well. So there's just lots of little bits and pieces and some other stuff, and then some stuff with work I had to sort out. I can't remember what the point of all of this was. Today's like being the first day of being like, stop, sort everything out, take a second, go from there. But we do have, I want to say social plans. They're not that social. I'm going to see family this afternoon. So I will squat now, see how I'm doing for time. Sessions, I've got 2 sessions to do. I told you a lie when I said I haven't missed any training. I didn't train yesterday because I spent it setting this up instead. So I thought rather than driving to the gym, training, driving back, I use that time to make the gym so I don't have to drive to the gym in the future. Right, 180. And what did I say the work set's going to be? 237. So I go 180, put the, what's it called on, with velocity. Yeah, so activity-wise, that will obviously increase as I get back into a normal routine. So I've got the treadmill that I use at my desk when the weather's rubbish, and then just go out for walks when the weather's better. And then I've got my bike desk again, which I would use. Generally speaking, what I was doing is I was going back through these videos and like quickly editing them whilst I was on the bike. So that's like my cut-off time for, it gets the cardio done and it gets the videos done. And that's like my threshold for how long I'm willing to spend on doing this. So because I've not been making, well, no, I don't actually have the bike set up yet. I'm not 100% sure where it is. But because I've not been making the videos, I've also not been doing the cardio. But is it the other way around? Of that I've not been doing the cardio, so I've not been making the video. I don't know. Anyway, 180. Oh. I felt horrible, but it was fine. So only 180 in it. So allegedly, I'm going to 37.5 next. Not next, as a top set. But I'm not sure about that. I do think I'm squatting on a ever so slight, like, decline. It slopes that way. It's like I've got very, very small wedges on. One thing I've noticed as well I'm getting out of breath easier today. And I think it's because I've had pre-workout. It makes me feel like a bit jittery. Like I can feel my heart's going faster and the talking and stuff makes me feel unfit. But also, a couple of weeks of not doing cardio and not doing as much activity, that might be why. And when I brought the weights back, I didn't have enough space in the car. I had the physical space, but if you look at what a car's maximum loadable weight is, I didn't have enough space in the car to put any more plates in. So I've only got 4 metal 20s and 2 bumper 20s. So I will pick up some more metal 20s next week, because at the minute I can put on 250, 255, 257.5 is the most I can put on the bar at the minute, which is a lot, but it's a cool problem to have. It's not going to be enough for me over the next couple of weeks, especially as things get heavier. So it's either I pick them up when I go to the gym, or I just do my heavy squat sessions at Hull Strongest instead, which again, it's only like a 25-minute drive, so it's not too bad. I wouldn't want to go there every day because it's too much of a drive, but for the odd session it'd be fine. But saying that, I'm going to pick up my plates anyway. I don't know. What do you think? Random person watching this who doesn't know where I live, you probably could work it out. It wouldn't be very hard. That's the good stuff. Okay, so 220 is next. I wonder if I can film this on this as well, so I don't have to stop the video, so I can get it double filmed. Will that go on there? Perfect. There's like a little holder on the garage lip there. That'll do. So we haven't got any music on, obviously. We just have to imagine some music or something. There's these hooks on the walls here as well. I don't know if you can see them. I think I'm going to take them down. There were loads of random pins and screws stuck out of the walls, which I assume we used to hang something on. But they're very awkward in the way. Because every time you walk past it, I got a couple of scratches on my shoulders from them. And I just thought, whilst I'm training, I'm going to catch them quite a few times. Anyway, I should do this rep, shouldn't I? Belt 1 notch tighter, that's probably a sign of fat loss, isn't it? Right, come on. Oh. That felt so awkward. I think it is just a little slant. Like there was no doubts of squatting it. I mean, it's only 220, but it felt, felt super awkward and unstable. It does make a difference having those plates. It felt like 250 with the whip on it. But anyway, done that now. I'm going to watch this video back. So I didn't want to mess about with this camera, with this phone, I should say. It's less files to mess with. So that was 0.38, which actually, for not being peaked and stuff, it's not too bad. This is effectively like my starting point, if you like. Right, let's have a look. So it's tough to see the depth from that angle actually. Can't tell if it's high on this video. Is it high, or is it just the size of my legs? Not in a big-headed way. Like, is it because my quads are relatively big? I think I might see if I can film it from a different angle for the 237. I might actually have a look at this and see if this looks better. So I am going to interrupt the video. I'll be back in a sec. Yes! Jesus! On that one, like, I just watched it back and it's close. Not really. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I'm going to try and get a different angle for this one. Can you remember what weight I said I was doing next? It's 237, wasn't it? So we'll see how that goes. Maybe if I just put more weight on, then it will be easier to get to depth or something. I do think it's just the angle, but we'll see. Because the thing is, like, yes, it's just training, but I am wanting to compete, and I don't want to be doing high squats, even if it is because of the floor being uneven or something. I would rather know that and deal with it instead of just putting my head, like putting blinders on and ignoring it. Do we think 237 is too big of a jump? If I do that, that's 235. I do 230. I think, yeah, I'm going to do 230 first. Make sure that's deep enough. And then, nah. Ignore me. Well, you're probably not ignoring me if you're watching this video. Maybe you are actually. I know a few people have said they just put this on in the background whilst they're doing other stuff. But ignore me rambling whilst I talk about this. So we're going to go 232.5 instead of 237.5. The plan is the two singles. 237.5 was the rough estimation, or RPE8, or some velocity, which I don't actually know off the top of my head. So I'll do this, see how this is, and then maybe go up, because this will be heavy enough to be a single. If it's easy, if it's fine, then I'll go up. If it's not, then I won't. Just need to find a good place to put the camera. This little stool could be the way. So if I put this, wants to be like almost at a side angle, doesn't it? But in front, sort of. So if I put this over here, maybe, I'll rest it on there. Water bottle there. Oh, hope that doesn't fall. So yeah, 232.5 kilograms. Next set. Right, from where that is there, this is going to be like right at hip height, I think. So this should be a good measure for if I am deep enough or not. It seems, well, it's one of those things of like, logically it makes sense, but emotionally, I still am in like a little bit of disbelief. Oh, did you hear that? That this is like a light session. It's cool. But yeah, is that gonna work if I get here to squat? Yeah, that should be fine. Right, best crack on, aren't I? So, tighter belt hole as well. Yes, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes. Jesus. Don't know what was happening there. Oh, that was horrendous. I felt like jelly the whole time. Oh, that was more than an RP8. That was like an RP37. I feel dizzy now. Right. So this is where I'm in two minds, because logically it's just one set, it doesn't matter. But this is where I'm like, right, screw it all, back to gaining, it's too much. When in reality, it's probably not the deficit that's making any difference. I do not feel conditioned to do this at all. It's very strange from a few weeks ago, feeling like a machine, to now feeling useless. But anyway, I'm going to watch that back, look at the depth, and then make a decision on what to do next. Because of how tough that was, I might not do the next single. I might call that as 2 singles. Right. Definitely not going up in weight, because that's going to go badly. I suppose I could have tried harder. Maybe I was being a bit lazy. Right, here's the video. So, oh yeah, depth is spot on. It's way deep enough. I think it must have just been the angle before, because watching this back, down, hit depth, back up, some knee cave, but nothing crazy. I think I'm gonna call it there for the singles, and then I will move on. So I'm supposed to be doing deadlifts, but I don't really have the means to do that on this floor. So what I'll do instead is I'll go on and I will do my bench instead, and then go from there. So this is the thing that I was talking about, of where I'm not really 100% sure where to put stuff. So the bench will go in here, and then I need to figure out the safeties and also the height of where I want to store these. So either I can leave this rolling and you can just have all the random thoughts as I do it, or I can pause it and do it. I think I'm just going to leave it on. I'll just pause it and restart it to make sure that the file doesn't corrupt. Right, that's restarted now. So this is going to take a bit of like getting used to figure out where is best for different stuff, different exercises and whatnot. Obviously, this is literally the first time training in here, so I'm not 100% sure yet. So I could have had the bench, so the head is at this end, but then I'd have to be like halfway on, halfway off the bench. So instead, I wanted to have the bench this way, which fits really nicely into there. This just fits perfectly there into the middle. So now I just need to figure out what height for the safeties and what height for the racks, so I can get these right. And then it was how high to put these. So if I have this right up at the top here versus right down at the bottom, if I have it at the top, I wouldn't want, so what would it look like? So put it right at the top here, there, when I'm not that tall, am I? I'm nowhere near that. Yeah, that should be fine, shouldn't it? And then bench height would be fine as well. I think we have our answer. Thank you for your help. And then these will be where the collars will live on the end. And then the little plates, I can probably leave them on here, ready to do curls at any moment's notice. I've got the calibrated collars as well for 2.5s, rather than bringing 2.5 plates, because obviously everything I've brought here is not at the gym. Now we've got enough metal plates that it wouldn't be a problem, but we don't actually have that many 2.5s, so I don't want to mess about with them and potentially people not be able to use them. What I am going to do is I'm going to leave the 20 bumpers out for deadlifting. Oops, that sounded breaky. For deadlifting, because these would be the first plates to go on to deadlift, so they should be the most accessible ones. Whereas for squatting, I'm not going to use them for squatting. I don't really want to use them for squatting. So these are the two options basically. There's a low height. I don't know if you can see the low height. So let me just show you around. So in here, we've got the rack there. And if I spin you around, there's a garage door. So the garage door is here. It's all very exciting. There's a pile of stuff there. So what I'm looking at is down there, I can put for the weights, or I can put it up there. Like I could do the same on both sides, obviously. But I don't know which would be better. Because if I go with the top one, I don't hit it with a squat. If I go with the bottom one, I don't hit it when I'm benching. So it's literally just figuring out which is the better option. So if I put you back here, can you see this now? So yeah, what I might do is put a couple of plates on each so I can see what gets in the way. Because the other thing is, although I don't squat that much, if I do ever have friends come over and train, like if they're squatting 300 kilos or whatever, obviously I need to make sure I had enough plates. But I don't want the rack to move. So I'm going to test this and see how far away from the plates I am on both sides, and then make a decision. So if I'm benching 3 plates a side today, hopefully. So this is just an easier height to unrack them from, which is why this is the one I'm most interested in, I think. But I'm just concerned about hitting it when I'm squatting, you know, like as I step back with it. So I'm just going to test it in a second, and if it works, then brilliant. I can move this one up. This is something I wonder I could do with a second set of hooks, couldn't I? So I can, oh no, because never mind, doesn't matter. So what I was going to say is, if I had a second set of hooks, I could just go straight to bench. But I can't because I've only got 1 bar anyway. So I need to know how close I am to hitting that when I squat. So if I unrack this, pretend that I'm going to squat it, I have to go pretty far back, don't I, to be anywhere near. So when I'm squatting there, I'm nowhere near it, am I? Cool, thanks for your help. So I think that's going to be the solution, is to have them high up there. So this will anchor the back of the rack down. This is an easy height to unrack them from. Now I just need to figure out the bench height, because looking at this, actually, yeah, when I do the bench, it's probably more likely to hit that, isn't it? And then I don't want to have it at the front of the rack there, because then all of the weight's towards the front, which is obviously not going to tip over because of the way it's built, but still, don't want to risk it. So, just got to be careful in here. So this is rented as well, which is why you've got to be very, very careful, but also, not that I wouldn't be careful if I bought it, I would, but the difference is, if I bought it, I can make whatever changes to the property I want, because it's mine, my responsibility. But obviously it's someone else's. We're not planning on moving anytime soon, but it's worth bearing that in mind. So now it's just making sure the bench height doesn't interfere with this as well. But like I say, I don't think it should do. We will find out soon. And I got the carpet here just to add that extra little bit of friction for the rack, so that if it does ever slide, it's not going to slide much. So let's see what height these are on. See if I need to adjust it. If this is like the gutted. Hopefully this height is the right height to bench from, because that's the only height that fits. Otherwise I'm going to have to take the safeties out, and I might have to get the other safeties. I just don't want to be messing about with that, to be honest. I'd quite like it to just be one setup so that it's done. I don't have to mess with it. Looking at this, I think these safeties are going to be too high. But we'll find out in about 3 seconds. Oh no, this is actually too low. That's perfect. So I can go higher. Oh, look at that. That's going to be... I'm going to have to maintain like a good arch to not be on the safeties. And this needs to go up at least one. So either I need to have a decent sized arch and I can use this height, or these would need to come down one and not quite be the right height. I think I'm going to try benching with these in and try and maintain a good arch position. Like, I don't want a crazy arch, I've talked about this before. I want a big bench, but some arch is not a bad thing. So I think I'll do that. I'll try this one higher. And then what I'm going to do, I should have done it when I was squatting actually, is I've just got a bit of tape and I just mark the tape of where it should be so that it's set at the right height for future. I will put my shorts on so you're not having to look straight at my crown jewels whilst I'm benching. Or maybe I shouldn't, I don't know. I suppose it depends who's watching, doesn't it? And then I'll start loading the plates up. And I don't think I'm anywhere near hitting those plates, am I? But I'll try with the 20s on and see what that's like. Yeah, even if I was close grip, I'm not going to be anywhere near that, am I? So that's good. And I'll change my shoes in a second as well. Yeah, it's quite a nice little setup, I think. I have got some bands here as well, which I will use between sets, like always, because it's good to keep the shoulders moving, in my opinion. I like it, makes me feel good, so that's why I'm going to keep doing it. There's probably some research to say that it's brilliant, and probably some research that says it's terrible and you shouldn't do it because your arms will fall off. But the good thing is, you can just do what you want, and it doesn't matter what the research says. Research is important, but a lot of times when looking at research, especially for strength, you have to look at the population that's actually being researched. And if they're like 18-year-old undergrad students that have been lifting for 3 months, the answers for them might not be the exact same things for someone who's been training for 10 years. A lot of stuff will be, but not everything. Right. I might even be able to go one higher. No, I don't think I will. That's slightly awkward to unrack there. Should I try one higher? I suppose now's the time to try before I've got more weight on the bar and it's awkward to load and unload. I'll try one higher, see how that is, because unracking 140 like that is going to be tough. But saying that, if I can, then it will make the rest of training easier. Now, something I just thought is, there's no background music on this, so should I just leave it that way? Or should I put some on when I do my quick edit whilst I'm on the bike I don't know if I'm going to have time to bike later on today. It depends what time we get back. That's another thing with the nutrition stuff. With basically living out of cardboard boxes, I've been having mostly ready meals, microwave meals, protein shakes. I've still been hitting my 200 to 250 protein and between 3 and 4,000 calories a day, but I've not been strict about the calories, and the food sources have not been, they've not been terrible, but they've not been things that I would necessarily recommend all the time. So like yesterday or the day before, I got some burrito bowl thing. It was alright, but you know when you eat something and you're like, this is just calories. I don't feel like this is contributing anything positive apart from I am hungry, I need calories, this is calories. But the kitchen and stuff, Rachel got unpacked yesterday, so we can start cooking and things again. Now, tomorrow's Christmas, and we're going out, so food will be mostly provided, and then the day after, we'll be back to normal, start eating and drinking and stuff like normal. So my weight might come down a little bit, but I think everything will just feel better. The other thing is, sleep has gotten better the last 2 or 3 nights. Now that more things are settled, getting more into a routine. And this week, I should do another set, because otherwise I'll be here forever. Right, let's see if this is a better height. Perfect. Oh. Yeah, that's the one. That's good. Right, today is touch and go. What was I even saying? Sleep's getting better, getting into oh, right, this week. So, my plan for this week is to basically sort my life out. My life is fine, but like from an admin perspective, I've got a lot of different things that I need doing. One big change, or one big job I should say, is I need to refilm the entire exercise library. One thing I'm bad at, which I need to get better at, is I won't always call exercise the exact same name when I write programs. I might put CGBP instead of close grip bench press. So I need to be more consistent with that. So with that, I'm making the videos to go with every single one of them. I want to get that done this week. So it's like done, ticked off, out the way, and I'll film them in the gym, because obviously this isn't the nicest background. So I need to do that. More house stuff, more work stuff. And then when we get back to work, it'll be January. So obviously then gyms get super busy. So yeah, it should be fine. I'm just going to move this slightly and see what the velocity is. Now, have you seen my phone anywhere? Because I'm sure I had it down here. Right, let's change this. So, velocity 100 kilos, next exercise, bench press. I don't need to film that. Right, I can just go on there, can't I? I'm not going to need a spot for this, am I? Well, I've said that, I might fail it now. That sounds like the car's just pulled up, so I think that means Rachel's home. She was at a class this morning. Right, touch and go. Oh. Touch and go, also known as bounce it off the rack. That first one was not good. I'm wondering if it's the shoes, because I wouldn't normally wear them. But anyway, the goal is single at 8, or 142.5. So I've been roughly 10 kilos lighter when I do this in the commercial gym because of all the other things I mentioned. Just like to be safe. But I'm not in the commercial gym now, so it shouldn't be a problem. Now I'm torn because I've got some real thin spotter safety rails that might actually be a better height, but I don't want to have to change the safety rails about to. I know what I could do. I could just bring the safeties from the gym, swap them for these safeties. Would that be better, or is that unethical, taking them for my own personal gain? I'm saying that, it is my gym, so what do you think, internet people? Take the safeties from the gym? They're not even mine actually, so I definitely shouldn't take them. One of our members, a guy called Andy, he bought them years and years ago. And I think he's moved now, so he doesn't actually train with us anymore, but they're still his. So I would be, I should probably leave them at the gym, shouldn't I? And they're probably easier to set up than these ones are. I might take the thin ones to the gym though, actually, now I say that. So this is supposed to be touch and go, but not bounce and go. I'm going to take my squat shoes off, because I think that's why it feels a bit funny. I didn't actually bring my trainers out with me. I know, boohoo. And I don't want to go in the house to get them because I'll get distracted by something. I want to just keep training instead. I just had a quick look at the time. I've still got time, I think. I might actually be able to, are these the right way around for putting them back on? No, they're not. What was I going to say? I think. Oh, I don't think I'm going to have time to finish my full session now because I've mashed 2 into 1. But if I can get all the pressing done, so literally all it is some singles on bench and some close grip bench. I need to get a little bin in here. No, I don't. Recycling bin's just outside the door. If I can get all the pressing done, then all I have left is deadlifts, hamstring curls, and bent over row. So to be fair, I could do that at the other gym. Oh no, I can't because of the deadlift problem. I don't know. Anyway, I've got some chalk here as well. Definitely need to get a bucket or something for this, so that I don't make a mess everywhere, every session. We must have so many cardboard boxes that there'll definitely be one that I can use for chalk for in here. Just grazed my ear on one of them spikes. So yeah, I definitely need to sort that out. 130 kilos. Bar is loaded. With my super fancy bench and shoes. Right. Oh. Cool. I said it was slow. It felt alright. I think I'm still going to go up. Like, yeah. There's no like doubts or anything. Let's say that it's just the deficit or something. The plan's 142, isn't it? So we'll have that one out. Put these 2 away. Again, the plan is a couple of singles, but we'll see how this first one goes. Nice thing is, this is like the perfect height for benching on now. there's the duct tape. Remind me to tape up the correct heights before I leave. So that what's it called? So that next time when I'm in, I know exactly where they go. I'm not sure if Rach will ever train in here with me. No, that's a lie. She almost definitely won't train in here with me, but she might train here sometimes. Although saying that, she'd mostly be doing like pull-ups and stuff. So we've got a pull-up rig. It's like a little rack thing in the garden. So she's probably more likely to use that. Yeah, this works nicely, doesn't it? Pretty pleased if I say so myself. I've just seen her go outside. What are you doing? I look like a crazy person now. She's coming around. Do you think I should like be benching as she comes in? So she'd be very impressed. She'll probably open the door, to be fair, if I can find the key. Oh, is that going to hit my camera? Just missed it. So close. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I'm alright, thank you. Just
Thank you for Gambit's present.
Gambit. I was just talking about you.
Pretty?
The people.
The people, oh no. Okay.
Where have you looked?
I just had a look in the shed in case it had gone in there by accident. I'm going to come and look. I know you did say
Well,
you came and looked yesterday. But
I think it might be one of these boxes. It's not in that one. It might be one of these boxes. And there is my box knife here.
okay.
I took that and I've been using that on all of the boxes for getting them unwrapped. Would you do me a favour, actually? You can do it when you come back. I can, yeah. And I think it sounds like it's a motorbike or something, doesn't it?
It's been going on all morning. It was going on when I left.
Oh, really? Right, what was I doing? Bench. So, this all works.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
It's awkward squatting on it because I'm on a slight ramp.
Am I right to spin in your outdoor shoes?
Yeah. Would you do me the favour? Would you film me, please? I realise there's a camera going on there, but will you film me on this as well, please?
Where? What angle?
From like over here, just so I can see it, so that I don't have to stop that to then have a look at it.
Okay.
If I fail, it's fine, because these are a good height.
Ready when you are.
Does that mean hurry up?
No, I just like recording. You got this. Yes. Well done.
Oh, how? That's
How
it.
many reps you was doing?
Oh, just the one. I got 2 singles.
0.22.
Oh, that's slow. This is like the perfect height to unrack, and this is like a centimetre less, so I have to arch properly, which is probably a good thing.
Cool.
I just got to be careful. Thank you for that.
Alright.
I think that was more than an Appy 8 though.
Is this one the conservatory?
That one. Yeah. It's alright. So, that was fine. I think I'm going to go down a little bit now and just watch this. Or should I just do it again? I think I'll just do it again. Wasn't that bad. Yeah, I'll just do it again. I'll just take a bit of a rest and then go again. You see the light's better now that the door is up, but it's super windy. Please and thank you. I've just gone for the same weight again. I find it harder doing touch and go than paused. Cool. That's the same as the last one, I think. Thank you very much. I was at 0.22. Okay, I'll just...
Do I need to put hot water on first place, or should it be alright?
You should be alright. You've not showered yet this morning, have you?
Yeah, showered quickly.
You did, yeah. Just flick the hot water on, please. Are you good with which button?
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. I'll be in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Right. So that is my bench done, and you just heard the time restraints. So, where's the video of that gone? What are you doing? Let's ignore that. Oh, it didn't detect any reps. Oh well, that's a shame. Did it get me a video at least? It did. So we'll save that. So I've saved the videos of them so I can look at them whilst I'm training without messing with this, because you're like right up against the wall. Now, the next exercise, which is my last exercise for now, is going to be the close grip bench press. So we've got 4 sets of 8 to 15. Now, last week, I believe I was using 90. I'm partially being lazy and thinking I'll use 100, but given the time constraints, probably shouldn't, because I need to get them all done. I want to get these done rather than messing about, spending ages. I want to just get the reps done so I can go get a shower and get ready and leave. So I will go 92.5 instead, which conveniently is all of these plates. Now, the other thing is, I wasn't 100% sure about whether or not to leave this door open when I'm training, regardless of the weather, because where we live, it's a very quiet area, and I'd say, even though I'm old, we're probably the youngest people here by about 30 years. And I don't want someone to come past, see me lifting weights, and then decide that it's annoying, or it's going to be loud or whatever, and then get it in their head. All that banging is the people that live there. So instead, I would rather not like keep it secret, but like whilst we're new here, I don't want to cause an issue. Whereas once we've been here a little bit, then if anyone has an issue, I can say, well, actually, I've been doing this for the last 2 months, 3 months, whatever months, and it hasn't been a problem. That's my plan anyway. Right, close grip bench press, 8 to 15 reps. I might have to arch a bit more than I normally would on close grip. We'll see. I think that's about the right weight actually. Good tricep pump. That's one set done. Yeah, and then later on, when we get back, I've got deadlifts, barbell rows, hamstring curls, and front raises. They're supposed to be dumbbell front raises. To be fair, I could use a 10 kilo plates. That would work. It's effectively dumbbell front raises, isn't it? The point is to get unilateral loading, so that should be fine. I think this will be the last week of this block anyway, so that shouldn't be an issue. And we'll go from there. What I could do is use these hooks to put things on. Is that going to tear them? Nah, they're be fine like that. No, now I'm like, this is gonna tell them. So that I won't have to bring my gym kit in and out constantly. I think that might be a good idea. I'll take that little bag back in with me. There's the house keys, I need them. Take that drinking with me. Don't need my squat shoes. Microphone stuff, take that in. Bottle of water, take that in. Jumper, I'll grab that, take that in. And yeah, this should be a good setup. Will this be where I squat 300 kilos? Probably not. I just picked up the garage key, I didn't mean that. I meant to get my hoodie. Anywho, next set. That was tough. The height of these is making me have to really concentrate to be more even compared to what I would normally be like. So that's probably a good blessing in disguise. So that's good. Oh, I've got these lights. They're for in the conservatory. They came with the house, nice extra. But they need charging. But rather than take them in their house to charge, I want to bring a charger out here. So I've just got one. So I don't have to take stuff in. It's just all in situ. Oh no, that's fine. Thought it was wobbly. Like I spent a good half an hour putting this bench together yesterday. The other thing is, if I want to, I can leave all the weights out. Probably won't, but I could if I wanted to. Right, 2 more sets. We're leaving the house in 15 minutes. Best crack on, aren't I? For RP as well on this, I'm looking for like 7.5-ish. So that's why I'm not going like to failure. Set 3. Jeez. Probably didn't look it, but that felt like it was like a good 9 on the triceps. Oh, one more set. Just go a little bit lighter. Take off the 1.25. So yeah, things should be trending in a positive direction now. Probably start eating more again. Just eating more real food. I hate that thing, but like, it's a real thing of eating more stuff that's actually decent food, quality. But another thing, like lactose, irritates my stomach. I'm not allergic or anything like that, I just know I feel worse, get bloated, bad stomach. So I usually wouldn't have anything with it in, but I've been less diligent about that. And then obviously that has a knock-on effect to other stuff. So I'll start being stricter about that. We've got the rice cooker and air fryer and stuff set up now, so we can use them for cooking and things. So that's all good. So it will all be more positive and be a more conducive environment for gains. Because at the end of the day, that's what I want, is more gains. And I've got to do all the basics, but better. I don't even know if I'm going to manage this with how my triceps feel right now. But time-wise, what are we on? Yeah, we're leaving the house in 10 minutes now, and I need to get a shower. Come on. It's like 60 seconds of work, and then we'll go. And I can leave the weights out if I want. Ooh, what a time to be alive. Right, come on. I know that was 7, but there's not a chance I was getting an 8th rep with that. Right, that's it. I need to go get a shower. I will see you in 5 or 6 hours. Bye bye. Did you miss me? It is about 8:30ish now, so a fair amount of time has passed. I've got a few bits and pieces that I have left to do. So I put my leggings and shorts back on from earlier, rather than getting fresh clothes, but obviously wearing a different top because I went out and was social and stuff. So the plan is supposed to be deadlift, bent over row, hamstring curls and front raises, but I don't have sufficient mats to deadlift on, and I suppose I could deadlift off the rack as long as I was like gentle putting it down. That might be the best option. But what I'll do first is, you know, I was saying earlier about marking up the rig so it's at the right heights. So I'll mark up this so I know what heights it needs to be at. And then the deadlifts, I'll just have to accept that they're not going to be perfect for this one-off session, because gyms will all be closed tomorrow, particularly you want to drive a long time. And all saying that, I've not actually been doing deadlifts recently. I've been doing stiff leg deadlifts. So I might just do stiff leg deadlifts from the rack instead, so that then I'm not having to mess about trying to deadlift in here. That's probably the easiest option to do, like the simplest option I should say, because my hamstring from the competition, not the best. It wasn't the best. It seems to be mostly fine now. So yeah, that seems like a sensible option to me. So I just need to move a few bits about so that I can do that. I've got all this rubber down here. I need to figure out the best place to put it. But I could unrack from here. Yeah, there's definitely a slope there. Unrack from here, do my stiff leg deadlifts here. I'm going to do barbell rows here as well. I think we've got a plan. So I will do the stiff leg deadlifts and then barbell rows, and then hamstring curls, and then front raises, and maybe some curls, because curls are great. And that should be the plan. Now, I think that this little stool thing might go back in the house. So this shouldn't be in the way long term, but it was good for filming the squat so I could see the depth of it, but it's in my way now. What day am I going to get the bumper plates out? I don't know. Let's move this stuff out of the way. So if I put the bench down here, I don't think you can even see me, so you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Now let's get this bar out here. I don't know if it's being really lazy to bring a second barbell home. I'm definitely going to stand on something sharp. I'm going to put my squat shoes on just in case. Again, I left my trainers in the house. It's first world problems, isn't it? And I wonder about like maybe just a little speaker or something in here. Nothing crazy, but just like low level background noise. Or I could just leave it without. No, not decided yet. Don't know how busy this area will be. I don't want to be making too much noise, like I say. Now, I've had a few more thoughts about the fat loss and gaining and whatever else, and I think, because ultimately my next goal is a 700 total, and me continuing to get leaner and leaner and leaner is not necessarily going to help that now. So I think I'm just going to go back to maintenance / a very, very slow gain. Oh, let's see how the hamstring is on this. So apologies about the angle on this. I don't know what you'll actually be able to see. But if I go back to maintenance / a very slow gain, then I think that's probably going to be most conducive to make the most gains. At least in the short term, I kind of wanted to try and aim for the 700 total at the competition in like the second half of February. But there's not actually a huge rush. So what did I do at the last one? Was it 275 squat, 160 bench? So what does that take us to? 335, 435, and then I deadlifted 247.5. So if we go, I can't do maths, 635 plus 47.5, so 675, 682.5. I'm sure I'm off on that. Anyway, if I just do a couple of kilos more on each, that'll be good progress, rather than rushing to just hit 700 at the next competition. But my goal of the 700 is I want to do it in a competition, because then I know it's all on calibrated plates, there's no doubt about depth and stuff like that. It's all done to a set standard, so that's my plan anyway. So we'll see. So there's no rush to hit 700 in this comp, but also at the same time, there's no rush, there's no need to keep getting leaner. I don't know if it's because it's cold or what, but the grip on this actually feels really good in here. I've got a little bag of chalk. I need to get a cardboard box because we've got loads of them, just to put the chalk in so it doesn't go everywhere. Rookie mistake here. Let's get this off, pop this on. So I've got one more week of training after this week, and then it'll be onto a fresh block. And I think it'll be starting all the eccentrics and that fun stuff again. So that'll be good. So I make the most of this, get some extra calories in. So I'll probably just bump my calories now. Tomorrow's Christmas, so I will make sure I eat enough protein, and apart from that, more or less be whatever I want. I will take some lactase pills so that my stomach is as okay as it can be. And then it will be like effectively back to normal. So I'm just going to check and make sure this is actually filming, and then I'll crack on with some sets. I'm just going to do some fives with this instead of the singles on the deadlift. So yeah, it's not going to be anything crazy, just a couple sets of 5, and put a little bit of chalk on because I don't want to tear my skin. And then I'll move on to the barbell rows. Hamstring curls, I'm going to see if I can do hamstring curls on this cable, if it sets up alright. If not, I must be able to, because there's the jammer arm. So there must be a way of using the jammer arm to do hamstring curls on it, because I've got like some foam pads things, so that could work. I don't know. Right, just do these. I want to put straps on, but there's not really a reason to put straps on for 100 kilos, is there? It's just being lazy. You watch, I'll tear my hands now I've said that. can definitely tell I've not done hook grip for a while, but that was alright. That will do. That'll do for the stiff leg deadlifts. I start to feel it, well, Romanian deadlifts technically, I guess. I start to feel it in my left hamstring. Just the tiniest little bit. I just don't want to. Right, there we go. There's my decision made for me. That was really easy. Right, so the decision is I'm going back to maintenance / very slow gain because my hamstring is still not recovered. So it would be a stupid thing to do to keep being in a deficit whilst being injured, because then your body doesn't have the chance to recover. So you should be at maintenance or even a slight surplus whilst recovering from an injury, so that your body has all the necessary materials to recover. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to, normal. So, that'd be about 4,000 to 4,500 calories. That should be fine. And then still 200 to 250 protein. The range is so high because when you're eating that many calories, so 200 is the base target. I will, now that I'll be back eating properly, the base structure of the day is 4 meals. So in each of them, if I aim for about 50 grams of protein, I try and get most of that from a decent source of protein, but there's trace elements in the other stuff I have. So veg, carbs as if that's a food, veg, pasta, rice, potatoes, whatever, all has trace protein in. So that's where the extra 50 grams will come from. So when you're having that many calories, you get a lot from other foods. And then I'll also be avoiding having lactose as much as possible. I just feel better when I do that. That should be it. So this drink, sometimes I've had the odd question about this. It's 2 litres. I'll have 2 of these a day, and then separate to that, I'll have whatever I would have in shakes, and I might have energy drinks or whatever if I want to, or any other drinks. I always have 2 of these a day. Usually in this, I put in the first one, I put greens powder, a little bit of cordial, and some salt. And in the second one, I wait until this is almost gone and then top it back up, and sometimes a bit more cordial. It depends how I'm feeling, depends how it tastes. I have 2 of them every day. In the summer, sometimes we'll get up to 3, but it's not really that warm here. But 2 is like the target. So 2 is my minimum threshold. If I was doing like a water load or something, I'd get up to maybe 5 of these a day, but I have not really got any intentions of doing that. I might do for this competition, I don't know. I don't think so. So I haven't actually been doing much in the way of barbell rowing, again, because of this hamstring. So I'm just going to use 60 and see how that feels, and it'll be more for my hamstring than it will be actually for my back. So we'll just see how that goes for the first set. Again, no reason to use straps. So that's fine. I'll just stick with that for another 3 sets of 5. So we need to change this. How do I change it whilst I'm in here? Add exercise. Stiff leg deadlift. I didn't preload this onto here before the session, so it will be how many sets? 1 set of 5 reps with 100, and the RPE was whatever the bottom one is. Easy. done. And considering I don't have signal in here, seems to have updated alright. I wasn't sure if you had to be connected, so that's good. And then barbell rows, 1 set done. So we'll go again. Right. So 5, nice and controlled. Nice and easy. That's fine. I now have an inbuilt rest timer in this, which is good as well. I'm not particularly good at resting as much as I should sometimes. But yeah, that might be handy for in future. And then move that up. So now I'm just moving the session around on here so it's in the right order. Now let's edit this. So first set 60, done. Second set 60, done. There we go. I forgot to actually click done. So just 2 more. It's nothing really crazy. I haven't got, I was going to say I haven't got a right lot to say, but clearly I have because I'm still talking. So for in here, what I'm mostly missing for my normal training would be dumbbells, and then hamstring curl probably would be the biggest thing that I don't have in here that I normally would train on. This cable might actually be better for me than the one that I've got at the gym because I can load it heavier. That sounds like my car. I wonder if that means Rach is here. 1 second, just going to check. It was the car and Rachel alongside it too. She's just come back and completely lost my train of thought. So we're going to get some Chinese tonight. I always find of all the different takeaways, Chinese, I actually feel great after having it. I think the salt and the rice and everything just feel fantastic. And I generally don't make decisions where I have lactose in it. It's just loads of carbs and salt, which I seem to respond really well to. So that's a good thing. And then there's a Domino's right next to the Chinese, which is like literally a 2-minute walk from our house now. But Domino's is a recipe for a bad stomach for me, even though I think it's pretty good. Cool. That's them done. So I've got hamstrings and front raises. So it's supposed to be dumbbell front raises. Obviously I don't have any dumbbells here, but I've got 10 kilo and 5 kilo plates. So I think between them, that should be fine. So I'll use them instead. And then my next session, it'll be on Tuesday. It's incline bench, dumbbell press, something else, and something else. So the something else is, I think, a machine work. So I might use the commercial gym to do that. I'm not sure. That would work from like a convenience perspective. I don't know. Oh wait, I didn't even think it'll be on Boxing Day, so they'll have weird opening times, so potentially won't do that. Oh, this is going to be tight, isn't it? nice and neat. So dumbbell front raises shall be sets of 8 to 15 reps. I think the 10 is a bit heavier than I would normally be using. I'll give it a crack and see how it goes. Again, it's just a couple sets, so nothing major. And we'll see how these work as dumbbells. If they work as dumbbells, I'm sure they will. That was good. So something that I've been doing the last couple of weeks is, with the training, I've kind of just been going for the bottom end of the range and just making it so that everything is like I'm still doing some work, but I'm not going crazy on it, because of everything else that's going on. I'm making a right mess of this. Because of everything else that's going on, it's all just stress. And I don't want to, when I say stress as well, I don't necessarily mean that in a negative way. Like, stress, which is positive stress, is a good thing, but it's still stress. Training is a stress on the body. And so I have been very careful with the training to make sure that I'm not completely overdoing it and basically ruining myself for the rest of life, because the gym and my coaching and stuff ultimately are more important than my training. And yes, I won't always have the body that has the potential to total 700 plus, so I don't want to just waste my time, but there's not like a mad rush of like, I must do it today, I must do it right now, I must do it whatever. There is time in it. Whereas the business and whatnot, again, although there isn't the huge rush, it is what supports us. It's what quite literally keeps the lights on. So I want to make sure that that is still running smoothly. So I guess it's basically like periodizing life. So signing up for the competition, what that's done is it's kept me focused, it's kept me aligned to the goal of competing and stuff. So I know that I'm still training. I know that the training that I've done in this phase hasn't been the best possible training that it could be, which is also why I'm not looking necessarily to have a ridiculous PB total. Things will ebb and flow. But with that said, I do think and feel last competition I left some on. Now, all of that said, my hamstring is still not 100% right, which will significantly affect deadlifts. It doesn't seem to be too big of a thing for squats at the minute, which is obviously great, but there is the potential that it can cause an issue down the line. So I've forgotten what I was doing. I'm doing front raises, and I've done set 1, 10 kilos, 8 reps, done. So that's why I went off on a tangent, because I've been lazy basically. I've just been hitting the minimum target for reps and stuff. So yeah, next thing after this is supposed to be the hamstring curls. I'll see if I've got the attachment, because if I have, I know I have it, I don't know if I brought it here. There we go, I did. That was easy, wasn't it? And these carabiners. So I've got a couple of these. I've only got one though, which might make it awkward. If I can, I would want to do these seated, but I don't know if it'll work like practically. So I guess we'll find out in a couple of minutes. So with these cables, what I've sometimes found is if there's oh, we've got company. One sec. Door opening. I forgot to restart this again. I've done all the sets of the bench. Now it is on to the hamstring curls. So that was Rich coming to see about the Chinese. So they didn't answer their phone, I guess because they're busy. So she's going there in person. So she was just double checking what I actually wanted, which is much appreciated. Is this going to fit around my hamstring? Around my calf, my ankle? I don't know how strong this is going to be. I'll try it with just a little plates on first. Something about being sensible. Oof, that's heavy. I think that might actually be the right weight. Now, how am I going to do this? What's going to be the best way to set this up? Could probably sit on the bar. Yeah, I'll try that. I realise I just put the bar away, so this might look silly to do, but I want to try and do these seated if I can. This is an exercise that I need to sit down and look at my training and look at what days different training would be best at different place, so that I can get the stuff where machines would be better, so that I can get that on like the same session, even if it makes it a little bit awkward. Because Rach goes to a CrossFit gym on a morning sometimes, so I could, which is literally across the road from the normal gym. So what I could do is, on those days, I could drop her off there, go in, do like 30-45 minutes worth of hamstring and other machine work. Oh. Oh. That's actually really good. I didn't expect that to be. What I can do is, when she's going to do her classes, I can go to the other gym and do all my machine work for the gym. Now it's a case of, do I add it as an extra training session? Yeah, that's surprisingly good. Really can feel it in both my hamstrings actually, which is obviously a good thing. So, I keep trying, can't finish a full sentence, can I? What I can do is, whilst she is at CrossFit, I can go and use the machines. But then the decision to make is, do I change my training days around, or do I have just an entirely different session? I don't mind doing AM and PM sessions, but I don't want to like do something on the AM and have it knacker me for the rest of the day. So like, I wouldn't want to go train hamstrings and quads and stuff and then squat later on in the day. But the other way around I'd be happy with. So that's one to have a think about. Or the other option, which is probably the one that I'll end up going with, is to just have a full-on separate session or two, because all of my normal days have got squat, bench, deadlift in, like some kind of variation. So I don't really want to do any of them at the commercial gym. The equipment just doesn't feel safe. It's not secure enough. So then the question becomes, do I do them on my rest days or on my normal days? So like I could train my back on the morning and then bench on an afternoon. That would be fine. But I wouldn't want a dumbbell press on the morning and bench on an afternoon. I guess I could just train earlier here, bench here, then go to CrossFit with Rach, and then do the dumbbells and stuff. I don't know. I'm going to have a look at my training, look at my schedule, look at how often I'll be going to my gym as well, because that will obviously be a factor too. But I have a suspicion that that will be, it will be less often, but I will be there for like the entire day. So rather than going in for 3-4 hours, I'll be there for like 12 hours, but it might only be once a week or once every 2 weeks or something. And then whilst I'm there, I'm obviously going to be working, so I might end up doing that on the days that I'm not training. So I don't know. Ooh. Right. That's actually great. I didn't think it would be. I thought I was going to need to faff about and end up setting it laid down and everything else, but I can properly feel my hamstrings in this. Like they're pumped. It's a good stretch at the bottom. It looks like half seated, half standing, but I can feel it. And sometimes that's enough. And there's no way my hamstrings don't work when I deadlift, because that's quite literally how I pulled it. So I don't know if you could hear that, but that noise I'd imagine will start to annoy the neighbours if I do that late on a night. Sounds like I'm having a much better time in here than I am. So I probably won't do that one evening. And then that's it. That's it for today. So first day back at it, as in back filming. I'm aware I need to get some decent lights sorted, so that is on my list of things to do. Tomorrow is Christmas. I will not be filming anything. And then the day after, back to normal. Whether I do it in here or not, I don't know yet. So if you don't see me in the next video, then that means, if you don't see me in the next video, if you see me in 2 days' time, that means that I trained in here or at ASC. If I didn't, that means I trained at the commercial gym. So that's it for today. Should I show you how fat I got at the end of my fat loss phase, even though it's been like a week of chilled outness? What do you think?